Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I'm going to give you a full tour of the nursery and of our setup for the spring, and we pretty much got everything out here now for the year as far as our nursery being full goes. Now, there'll be new stuff always coming and going as people buy things and we replace things and things come ready that we're growing and all the rest, but today the nursery's pretty full. I want to show you around and give you a pretty good look and pretty good representation of what our nursery looks like. So, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a comparison of a long before and after shot. So hope this is interesting to you today. So let's dive in here. So this would be the view of our nursery as you drive into our parking area. So if you were to park over here in one of these spots right in front of us, then our annual stuff would be right in front of you. We still got some blueberries left right out in here on this most forward section, and then annuals. Got a few hanging ferns up on the top in there, and let's just walk in and look at a few of these annuals. Of course, these annuals are plants that we buy in from a couple of different nurseries, and we just quick flip and resell them. We don't grow these in any way. You need a greenhouse for that, and we don't do that. So this is all lantana here. For us, where we live, lantana is our best-selling annual, probably by far. People are just kind of crazy about it, and a lot of these are just about to start blooming. These are zinnias here. We call it zinnias, however you say that. We've got several of those and all sorts of annuals down through here as we just kind of head to this end of the table, and a lot of it, you can see it's starting to bloom now. And right beside that table is this next table of annuals. Of course, Dusty Millers, Impatiens, Marigolds, Vincas, just keep going on, and we get down here to our tomato plants, and we've grown most of our tomato and pepper plants this year, and we probably got 10 times this many out back to reload that area with many times. So glad about that. And of course, more annuals over here as you work your way down that table. So our annual area has expanded. We've been doing really well with our annuals. It's a really good money maker for us, and we want to have as many of those as we can deal with. So that's the annuals. Now we step over to the side here just a little bit, and this is green giants here. These are in trade 2 pots. I've got these for sale for about $10 each, and this is just kind of a sampling of what we have. We have, another 100 of these available out back, and we go and get those as needed. So that's the green giants. These are emerald greens. Same situation with them. We just put a sampling of them out here. We have boxwood shrubs here for sale. Those are 3 gallons. We sell those for $22 each. We sell quite a few of those, though they have not been great sellers for us so far this year. Let's take a step into the shade house right over here. We'll just keep right on going. I'm not in any particular order here. These are some trees. These are eastern redbud trees. They're just starting to leaf out good, but anyway, I think those obviously are going to look better with time. We go down through here. We've got Chinese dogwoods for sale. All of our trees, we sell these for $35 each. We've been selling quite a few trees. Bald cypress right here. These are river birch trees right here. And as we get down towards this end over here, there are some chas trees, Shoals Creek Vitex, whatever you want to call them. And right here in front of me, some overflow. I need to throw this dead stuff out, but just some overflow here of some sedums that we'll put out when we sell out of our others. And spinning around the other way, these are Kimberly ferns here. They're almost waist high. They're really nice ferns. And then we got several varieties of clematis over here. We sold a ton of those last weekend. They look a little bit picked through, but there's still some really nice plants to be had over there this week. So those clematis are really, really nice plants. They're good money makers for us, and people absolutely go nuts over them. Now here's a must-have item in your early spring nursery, these peonies. This variety in particular has been so good for us, but we've got the traditionals down here too, like Sarah Barnhart and what is it, Carl Rosenfeld, I think it is down there. And then there's another variety down there on the end. I can't even remember what it's called, but it's white and yellow, just beautiful. But the peonies, fantastic seller around here. Now stepping over here into this house, this is a much improved area for us over last year. Last year we had probably 800 or 900 hostas in here, and a lot of them just did not do really, really well for us. I mean, they never looked right. They didn't flush out really good. Well, this year they flushed out much better. They look better. We've tried to take a little bit better care of them. We're going to kind of start over with some of our hostas this year, but there's a lot more in here now in addition to these. So let me just spin around here and show you what we have. So to start out with, we've got, of course, some hostas here, and that's a Francie hosta. That's just a standard hosta with that white edge on it around the leaf. You can recognize the Francie hosta from a mile away. We've got some autumn joy sedums there. I need to refill that area. We've got some lamb's ears here. We've got some paradise hostas, some patriot hostas. That's another one that's real standard. We've got some rockin' red dianthus. We've got a few aloe vera plants here. Those aloe veras, they've taken a little bit of a hit here on some 37, 38 degree nights that we've had, but we sell quite a few of those aloe veras. It's not like our best seller or one of our best sellers or anything, but it's kind of an interesting plant to have around. And we get into some hostas right here that we have grown, and those August moon hostas look fantastic. The halcyon hostas look really nice. And then we get over here to some elephant ears. These are black elephant ears, and I think we introduced these to you guys, at least from our standpoint and our sales last year. We just did really well with these black elephant ears last year, and I mean, we sold a ton of them. And we've been selling them pretty good this year. We increased our price on them a little bit, and they've sold a little less well, I guess you'd say, but we have a companion to them right over here. This is more of a green traditional type look over here, and then over beyond them is some caladiums. So all of these are really good sellers for us, and we're glad to have these in our nursery. We make decent money on them. So there's that in here with these hostas. Now I just spun around to my other side. These are some red hot pokers right here. Not crazy about how they look, but they'll thicken up and grow, and they'll get nicer, you know, as the days and weeks go by. This is a lamium. Fantastic shade plant. This has become one of my favorite plants just because you always need some other stuff for the shade, and you know, the color of it is really hard to beat. People who come up all the time, hey, I need something for the shade, and they wind up leaving with 2 or 3 or 5 of those, along with some other things. So lamiums, that particular variety is called Beacon Silver. Just a really nice plant. Over here we have a canna lily, the bronze peach canna lily. Got that beautiful foliage. We'll send up a beautiful bloom on them soon. And then we got 5 varieties of iris right here. And those are really nice plants, and those should sell really well for us this weekend. Next in line is this table, or 2 tables here, that have got all sorts of just various plants on them, and they're in little tiny pots. So let me just give you an example of one of these pots. This is just like a 3.5 inch pot. It's lavender, called Provence, and pronounce it how you want to. And we sell a lot of these in small pots like this. Now, we sell them for $4 in those pots. And, you know, one of those things, it's one of those plants that, or one of those sizes and price categories where people can buy them easily. And, you know, a lot of people can't dig big holes, so they buy something like a little bugleweed, you know, something like this. Small pot. We make good money on them. They don't spend a lot of money on them, and they still get a good plant. So it's a win-win selling some little small plants like this. We've got some creeping jenny. We've got some silver brake ferns right here that are really nice. Love the color on those ferns. Truly silver and just really nice. Here's another bugleweed here, burgundy glow. Very common plant. This is also a great seller for us over here, these periwinkles. It's a vinca. It's like a perennial vinca here, and it's kind of a trailing variety. And again, it's another plant. They're in quart pots, and we sell these for $5.97 a piece, and it's a small plant, a small pot, and we do really well with them. Got a tray of hens and chicks here. That's another one of those little tiny plants, a little bit of an oddity, but people love them. And here's the ice plant. Now, I'm going to come back in just a little while and grab some video of this once they open, but as the sun gets higher in the sky, all these little buds will open up and bloom beautifully. They're just about to open. They'll be open in the next hour or 2. But they're a really show-off kind of plant, and we sell a lot of those jewel of the desert garnet ice plants. Now, right over here behind me, right here, these are highlight arborvitas, and y'all have probably seen those in various videos over the last couple of years, and we got them when they were pretty small starts, and now we're selling them for $25 each, and they're just beautiful golden arborvitas. They're very similar to the emerald green arborvita in size and growth habit, but they are a golden kind of color. I don't know how well you can see that given the angle of the camera, the sun, etc. But they're a beautiful, beautiful screening tree. So we got these in 5-gallon pots. So this is a large plant for us as far as just the size goes. So anyway, we've been selling a few of them. They've not sold great so far, but I think they're going to put on some growth yet. But anyway, we have our highlights out here in our sale as well. Now this is walking into our main perennial area, and let's just kind of go down through and see what some of the perennials here are. We've got a yarrow here that's yellow called Moonshine. Windflower here, it's called Snowdrop. We got tick seed. We always keep some tick seeds around. That's a Coreopsis. Various colors there, and we have several of them. We got some geraniums, not really a perennial, but that's just where they happen to wind up sitting. This has been kind of an interesting plant for us. It's a lungwort called High Contrast. Literally have one of them left. So we had a nice pile of them, but they've sold really, really well. Got some rosemary here called Barbecue. Flowering quince called Cameo. If you're used to flowering quince and you're accustomed to seeing them, you see that this is quite a different color than the traditional red or deep orange flowering quince that you see. This has sold really well for us. This is one of the ones that we grew. More tick seeds here. We've got some thrift that we've done really well with. Sold quite a few of those. A couple more varieties of thrift, just 1 or 2 left of them. Now, one plant that just is shockingly pretty in a nursery in this early spring period are columbines. This is a variety called Early Bird Red, and right in the foreground there's, I forgot what the variety even is. They're labeled, but anyway, columbines are just beautiful plants, and people absolutely love them. Let me give you a close-up here. Absolutely beautiful plants. Another variety is the lilac here. This is a variety called Flower Fest Pink, and beautiful, beautiful plants. I'm not going to go through every plant because it's just going to make the video long and boring, but you know, there's a dianthus. We grew those. There's a spiderwort, Gara, another dianthus back there, another bugleweed, and you know, there's another 15 varieties going down that way and then back down the middle here of perennials. So I would say that in this house here, there are probably about 40 varieties of perennial that we have in here. Different sizes, shapes, colors to fit most any situation, most any budget. So just kind of showing y'all around what it looks like out here, and let me show you a couple other things here. And then I want to compare with the before picture. Now, another plant that's kind of new in our nursery is this wisteria right here. It's the Amethyst Falls. It's a traditional wisteria, and we'll see if they sell or not. We had a few of these last year. They sold quickly. They're a more expensive plant for us. And I don't mean like real expensive. They're just higher than our normal, you know, $7 to $10 price point. We sell them for about $25. So we'll see if the wisteria sell, but they're super nice. They're in 2-gallon pots, big plants, and we shouldn't have any trouble at all selling these. So I just stood up and turned the camera around. Those are the wisteria I was just showing you. And then right here in our hut where we check out, we've got some hanging baskets around. We sell these for about $18 each. We've got several of them hanging around. We've got more down here on the table. And then we've got more hanging ferns out here inside the annual covering. So that's basically the rundown of our nursery. So then I step out here, and here's some of the visuals that you're used to seeing on our channel. You know, you can see there's 400 emerald greens right there. And if we swing back around here, there's some perennial stuff in here that we're waiting for it to grow out a little bit bigger. There's some veronicas, some alliums, some bee balms, a few other things over here that just, it's still a little early in the season for a lot of these plants. We've got some more hostas out here, including some sum and substance hostas, the giant hostas that we need to get out into our sale area. And you can see right there, one of our limelight trees that has started to look really good, and you can see more of them right there and there. So, you know, they're just coming out. It's still real early in the season, and a lot of our own plants that we've grown out in the grow out area out back in the field, where we got so many hundreds and hundreds of hydrangeas out there, and people are asking about them every day that we're open, but they're just not quite ready to put out in the sale area yet. But it's coming, and we're going to be able to sell a ton of these things. So we just have to give it time, and you can't rush the season. You can't make things look like June in early and mid-April. You just have to give it time. So anyway, let me give you a picture here that, at least for me, it's a little bit nostalgic and it's a little bit shocking. So check this out. So here's a picture of one of our very, very, very first plant sales we ever had at our home when we lived in Tennessee, and just literally a few dozen plants in our driveway is where we started our nursery from. And you know, I'm not doing this to make a comparison between myself and anybody else. I'm just saying, wow, we've come a long way, because we've gone from that little bitty sale to now where we've got a full-time operation set up that looks like what I'm showing you guys now. And we've got a lot of growing to do. It's not like we're done by any means. So, you know, I'm really proud of how far we've come, but we've got so much work to do to get where we want to be and to produce the quantity and quality of plants that we want to be able to produce. So, you know, looking around out here this morning, it makes me just thrilled looking at all of this and thinking how far we've come. But again, we've got a lot to do, but I'm thankful to be able to do it. So y'all, that's really it for today. I wanted to show you around our nursery. We're just probably 15-20 minutes away from opening our gate and having customers for the day. So time to get busy on that side of things now, but I wanted to just let y'all see what it looks like out here when we're kind of as full as we get. So at least for now. So appreciate y'all coming along with us today. I love y'all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.